Hello and welcome to the World We Live In podcast. I'm your host, Eric Patterson. Alongside me is my sister, Erin. Join us as we explore the amazing, mysterious aspects of our planet's cultures, history, and future trends. What's going on? Merry Christmas.
Not much. Merry Christmas.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho. Yeah, not much. It's just bracing for this cold.
Yes, indeed. It's going to get chilly.
It really will feel like Christmas. So that I'm excited about.
It will. Last year it was like 65, and it sucked.
Just like and it was super windy.
Yeah, it was just a weird combination.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully Nashville doesn't freak out, but they usually do.
But they probably will.
They probably will. People will probably freak out. So
yeah. But also a lot of people are leaving, so maybe it's a good time for this to happen.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think you're right.
But what's been up with you?
Not too much. We were out celebrating with our friends and family the other day.
We were. It was really good time.
It was a good time. It was weird because it was quiet. We went out on a Tuesday, so it was very strange.
Yeah.
But it was fun. Good people. And yeah, had a good time.
Yeah, a lot of just laughs and taking time to slow down.
Yes. Yeah, other than that, it's been pretty quiet. I think people are slowing down early this year.
Yeah.
At least it seems like it.
Yeah, agreed.
But that's fun. Did an episode with Kyle and his brother. That's our last episode.
Yeah, that was great.
Had some technical difficulties. My computer, I forgot to charge my computer before, and we were using Zoom, so it was just roasting my battery. And so I had my computer charger charging what we record off of. And at one point I unplugged this because I couldn't remember if you unplug the power, if it turns off.
Oh, right.
So it turned off, and so I had to replug it in and just wait for my computer to die. And we barely got into the end of the episode, but yeah, they're awesome. Kyle and Ryan are great, and we're gonna do like a unlimited time episode with them, like after the new year.
Nice.
Yeah,
love
so
it.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
But
we were joking at our little get together that one of our friends that was there, like, he's like, so when the fuck am I going to be on your podcast? And Steve,
of course.
And then I was like, oh well, like we also have to have my boyfriend on it because he's a big conspiracy, as we know.
Yeah.
And then just one of our other friends who would just create chaos. And I'm like, well, we just have to have everyone on at once.
Oh, Lord.
And Steve was like, that would literally be like 4 hours long.
It would be very long because your friends love to talk.
They do.
Love to talk.
Yes. And it would just be like, how do we all talk? And yeah. And when they get going, it's just like there's no stopping them.
Yeah. It'd have to be like a round table thing. We'd have to be like 1 minute, go.
Yeah. Yep. Like someone's in the hot seat and they just.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's great. We love sharing it with people. So.
Yeah. Definitely do. So yeah, we're gonna.
When will this be out?
This will be out tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's the night of the 22nd.
Yes, night of the 22nd. So you have 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 26th if you feel like it.
Yeah.
So you have plenty of time to listen to it. Yeah, we're just gonna jump around through some Christmas traditions that are on the darker side. And then some hauntings, and then we'll see what happens. But
all right,
that's the plan. So this first one, let's see here. Okay. Okay. So this is about the Aragonese and Catalan mythology of Tio de Nadal. This is a small blanketed log which is fed, quote unquote, in the several days leading up to Christmas, upon which it then poops out gifts for children. The process of pooping is not described here, how that actually works, but that's the Yule log. Tio de Nadal. And yeah, poops out gifts. It says, strangely, this is one of the oddly fecal traditions associated with Christmas.
Ew.
But yeah, it just poops out gifts. So
what is it again?
It's called Tio de Nadal.
Uh-huh.
And it's this log that poops out gifts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Moving into Northern Europe, we're all familiar with Krampus. It says Krampus the belly slitter, who in Austrian traditions was believed to capture naughty children and beat them with branches. That is when he isn't feeding them to the very fires of hell.
Wow.
Odd. It always seems with these old Christmas traditions, it's like there's a balance.
As in?
So like there's a balance of well, I don't know back then, but it seems like now there's a balance between like Santa Claus, like good, like these old traditions, like evil.
Yes, I agree.
Did you see that thing I sent you from the Joe Rogan podcast talking about the Amanita muscaria mushroom?
I did.
And how it grows under evergreen trees that we use for trees.
And then someone in that culture, like...
Yeah, well, reindeer, which are also caribou, feed on these mushrooms. And the shaman of the Siberian traditions used to go through the chimney in order to get in people's houses because it snows so much.
Right, they couldn't get in the door.
Yeah, the doors were snowed. The house was snowed in. And I'm like, whoa. Hold on.
Yep.
Where did this progression start? Like, that's kind of wild.
It is. Because, well, yeah, I feel like we think of these like stories as like just totally made up out of nowhere.
Yes.
You know, but like we know that none of them are made up out of nowhere.
Well, we know that nothing is made up.
Yeah.
Like we can't just conjure up
with
things.
Something that didn't come from somewhere.
Our brain doesn't work that way. We take in information and then creativity
right.
is, doing things based off of stuff you've already learned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like, the fact that caribou are reindeer. Like, reindeer aren't some, like, mythical creature.
I know.
Like,
yeah.
You forget.
You do.
But,
you do.
Yeah, that was a cool story. Also, for, obviously, people who can't see this.
Yes.
So, everyone except me and you.
Yeah.
But if you Google Tio de Nadal, there's, like, pictures of it.
Yeah.
And, like, one's, like, a cartoon picture. Of like a little cartoon log.
It's a little hairy.
But like has a butt, like, and it's pooping out.
Well, I
gifts.
think they dress up the log.
Yeah. Like some of them, like, look.
Yep, it's got a little hat on.
A little Santa hat with like a fun face. Yeah. That's wild. I've never heard of that.
It's pretty funny. I wonder, there's obviously more to that story, but we just got a glimpse.
Right.
Yeah, so Krampus, famous. They have all the festivals in Germany and Austria. This woman, I think it's a woman. Where's her name? Or no, I think it's a man. Sam Sharon. He has a the Christmas themed adult coloring book.
Okay.
So, Sam has written for Mysterious Universe as well. He says, winter has a darker and richer lore than Halloween. For centuries, people have feared creatures from ancient legends born of this time of year.
Yeah.
Tales such as giant hairy monsters who live in the mountains and will snatch you up and eat you were used to ensure children didn't wander off into the snow or become lost. Hence the abominable snowman, things like that. Such is indeed the case with the abominable snowman, which among traditional Sherpa beliefs was a mountain devil known for carrying away children into the night. Not only, in this coloring book, he features a ton of folkloric creatures. not just the Himalayan beasts, but different parts of like Scandinavia, Britain, in North American cultural traditions. And he goes on, Sam chose to include the Wendigo amongst these Christmas time monsters in the book. Long suspected of being one of the many cultural motifs that is perhaps inspired by legends of Sasquatch among the American Indians. The Wendigo is believed to be a cannibalistic creature mostly amongst the Algonquin traditions. We've talked about the Wendigo.
Yep.
There was actually, me and Kyle did an episode about the Wendigo hunter, apparently.
Oh, wow.
This guy, this Native American who like went and hunted this creature. But yeah, it's a long folklore, but the general gist of it is that this creature feeds on human flesh because food is so scarce in those parts of like the Great Lakes region, and it's so barren during the winter that certain Native Americans would like starve during this time of year, especially if there was like war. Especially if there was like war or famine, things like that. So it's pretty creepy.
Wow. Yeah. That's... I guess it makes sense, like, you know, why he's described or why it is described as like a cannibal.
Yeah, well, that was the idea. Well, and the idea was that if you at a certain point, humans can turn cannibalistic.
Right.
Like you've heard of the Donner Party.
Yeah.
They like started eating each other because the snow was so bad.
Well, dude, if that was my last option, like, I'm going to do everything I can to not die. Like,
100%.
In extreme conditions. So,
Yeah, so basically the idea is that they turned into this Wendigo, or that the creature was already there. But continuing on, where was going to be the one by? Oh, this one. So this is like a little basically rundown of Christmas ghosts, if you will. You want to do this one, Erin?
Sure. Let me... Well, it seems I'm having...
Yeah. Classic. So, yeah, I'll go ahead. We'll run through it. So, yeah, the first one comes from Poland, and this is the Wawel Royal Castle in Krakow, Poland. Was built on top of Wawel Hill and has a deep cave called the Dragon's Den underneath it, where a dragon was once rumored to live. Inside one of the chambers, it is said that all of the deceased Polish kings from history return every Christmas to hold a special council meeting.
Wow.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
I would venture to go see that.
Also, I don't know why I have issues. Like, I will basically think anything else exists except dragons.
Yeah,
and I don't know why.
I mean, in the traditional sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the traditional sense of like the Game of Thrones dragon. Like, I think that's too much.
Yeah.
But the sense of like ancient giant lizards.
True.
Like, I'm definitely down for that.
True.
But like the fire breathing wings, that
the
type
wings,
of thing.
I don't. No fucking way.
Yeah.
But that's true. What did we? I feel like you might have sent this. Someone sent it in our group about. It was like some like, not the Loch Ness monster, but some like lizard in the ocean. Do you remember that?
Lizard in the ocean. Oh,
I'm gonna see if I can
about
find
like old like whaling vessels. Talking about, because there's stories of old whaling vessels saying they see like some massive sea creatures or what's the like the giant squid, the stories of the giant squid.
I know maybe it was something with that, but that stuff is like I just don't know.
I don't know about the ocean period.
Yeah, I have a hard time wrapping my head around it.
Yeah, I do too. Okay, secondly, this is in Kimpston House in Bedfordshire, England. It's said to be haunted by a child who was trampled to death by horses in the 19th century while running out to greet his parents who were returning home for Christmas. Now, every Christmas Eve, people can hear the sounds of a horse and a carriage in addition to the screams from the little boy.
Oh, boy. You know what?
That's not great.
I don't fuck with the horse and carriage.
No.
They have those things just walking up and down Broadway here.
Yeah.
In Nashville, and I'm like, no. Like, we don't need that.
Yeah, I also feel bad for those horses because they're just like... First of all,
I feel so bad.
They're on a street. Like,
yeah.
If a horse is on a street, it's just like... It doesn't look right.
Those turn me into an animal rights activist, like in a millisecond.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's not a great look.
And like, no offense to the people who operate them. I don't know what they're like in other cities.
For sure.
In Nashville, I mean, you just have to be suspicious. Like, is this legal?
Yeah, I mean...
Did you get a permit? Like,
It's like the horses that... It's like the horses that they take on the trail rides in Steamboat.
Yeah.
Like...
Let them run.
Yeah, let them run. And the last time I went there, I like felt... Well, first of all, there were multiple things. I got the smallest horse.
There was a lot going on.
I am 230 pounds. And like... This horse looked like a donkey.
And then our mom, who's the smallest out of all of us, got the biggest horse.
Huge horse. And
mine was like fine.
Yours was good, but I was in the back
of
like a small horse. And there were a couple times we were going up a hill and I didn't think it was going to make it.
And they like try to make you feel better and be like, oh no, these are pack horses.
Yeah, these are
like,
pack horses.
I'm like, that does not help me right now.
I'm like, that's great, but this is
their
third trip. Yeah, or they have a trip after this.
It's 80 degrees.
Yeah.
And we're just getting closer to the sun. Like, this is not it.
I know. I'm not a huge fan now. I would much rather find someone who has a ranch and then go to see their horses. But anyway.
Yeah, I also thought, I think I'm, highly allergic to horses.
Really?
Yeah, because when we were out there, I was fine until that. Uh-huh. And then I literally couldn't breathe. I've never really felt anything like it.
Damn.
And then for 2 days, I was just like...
Well, you are allergic to grass. So.
Yeah. It could have been anything out there, but I think I'm not built for it.
No.
So...
I think if you grew up out there, you'd be good.
It wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, but I think it's the environment.
Yeah.
So this next one is the Crescent Hotel, which is very famous. We might have to do an episode about the Crescent Hotel. It's in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. It's allegedly haunted by numerous ghosts who like to play pranks on people during the holidays. The spirits have been blamed for moving a Christmas tree and the decorations to the other side of a dining room, as well as throwing menus.
Throwing menus.
Yep. And then additionally, a ghost dressed in, says Victoria era clothing, have been seen dancing around the floor.
This is a hotel you can stay at?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Oh.
Eureka Springs, yep.
Nope.
Mm-hmm. This one is in St. Albans Cathedral. On Christmas Eve in 1944, a man named Basil Seville was also a great name, watching over St. Albans Cathedral in the United Kingdom against enemies during World War II. He heard the church organ playing, but nobody was playing it. He then witnessed a choir of monks, and when he escorted them to a different part of the church, they completely vanished.
Wow.
Numerous other people over the years have witnessed the ghostly monks.
That's cool.
Yeah, the monks.
Love a creepy church.
Yeah. This next one is in Alcatraz. In the 1940s, the warden there, James Johnston, hosted a Christmas party at his house, and the staff from Alcatraz showed up. During the celebration, a ghostly figure with mutton chop whiskers and who was wearing a gray suit appeared out of nowhere. The room suddenly got really cold, and the fire was blown out. The apparition stayed in the room for about a minute and then disappeared. And the room's temperature went back to normal, and the fire restarted. Needless to say, the holiday celebration quickly ended.
Yeah.
Honestly, what a power move! Like walking into or appearing in a room and putting out the fire just instantaneously.
Yep.
Like that's pretty legit.
Yeah, that is. Anything with fire.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Back to some spooky things. This one actually takes place in Indiana.
Oh.
Yeah, Bluffton. So it says this woman named Caitlin Williams recalls a bizarre experience from 1996 when she was living with her parents in Bluffton, Indiana. She claims that from when they first moved into the house and when she was a child there, something was not quite right. She felt that she was constantly had an intense feeling of being watched, like eyes were boring into her, especially when she was lying in the bed alone. And it went on, and it says, while it was unsettling, it was not truly scary, but that changed on Christmas. So she says, one year around Christmas time, I was having a friend spend the night. The heat had just shut off briefly, and she and I were sitting in the living room watching television when the temperature dropped substantially. As I rose to turn up the heat, the Christmas tree began to shake violently. Ornaments were falling off right and left, and she and I were terrified. We ran upstairs and lay down on my bed. My white cat curled up with us, and my door was open slightly. When I gazed out at the dark hall, I was horrified to see a tall white figure run down the hall. I turned to my friend, and she acknowledged that she had seen the exact same thing. She never spent the night again.
Oh my God.
Damn, that's pretty creepy. A tall white figure. Anytime it's tall, it makes it worse.
Yeah, I'm like...
Makes it worse.
Yes, I agree.
Give me the gnomes or the little elf creatures all day.
Yeah, I agree. And it was like running down the hallway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's creepy. I'm not gonna lie, I get scared at night.
Oh yeah,
I hate it.
I have a nightlight purely because I don't like sleeping in the dark.
I do not. I do like sleeping in the dark just because I feel like I can't fall asleep if there's light. But I am scared of the dark. Like, I think everything is like in my room is like a human.
Yeah.
When I wake up.
Yeah. Well, I have an issue with my mind settling down before I go to sleep. So then the light helps me relax, so my mind isn't like thinking about like random shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's partly why I do it.
Have you like looked into why we're like actually humans afraid of the dark?
I think it's just like the unknown type of thing, but no, I've not specifically looked into that.
I thought it was something about like how when we're in the womb, it's like really dark.
Okay.
And somehow like that, I don't know if it's the unknown, but I think it has something to do with when we're in the womb and how our brains get like formed in the dark. I don't know. It's something like that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't think it has anything to do with like, oh, we don't know what's out there.
Okay.
But I think it's like something to do with before we're born.
Yeah, because like, I mean,
I'm going to search really quick.
I think we're probably the only species that it has like scared of the dark.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But I mean, there's other like mammals that are like born the same way.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, but like I don't think animals like have that fear. Like animals are more afraid of being eaten by another animal, you know, like we're not afraid of that anymore. We don't get eaten by much. At least civilized folk don't.
Yeah, true. I don't know if this explains why we're afraid of it, but what you were just saying about animals, like it says for humans being afraid of the dark was like allowed us to survive because we took precautions in the dark to
not just wander out.
Right.
Yeah.
Which if we would have, like, animals probably would have eaten us.
You don't even know. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look into that. But I remember hearing about that and I was like, that's weird because I feel like the womb is like a safe place. for...
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, like, what did we do before fire?
I know.
You know?
Yeah. Anyway, off topic, but...
Yeah. Off topic.
People just came in and just put the fires out and then left.
Just peed on it and left. So the story continues with this witness. It says she developed a chronic illness, and this frightening phenomenon became more prevalent when she turned 18, and her grandmother passed away. There were moving objects.
Oh, no, was Granny haunting?
I don't know. Anomalous noises, creepy shadow figures, and apparitions. She says it started out with the voices. It was like a television had been turned on, and there was a flurry of voices from coming downstairs.
Oh,
Even more frightening outside my room. My parents were always asleep when this would happen, and their room was right next to mine with a vent, so I could hear my parents sleeping next door. I would get up and check all the rooms, but there was no TV on. Nothing to account for the voices. Mm-hmm. I was getting more and more scared as the voices started happening every night. Then that's when I started seeing shadow figures. They varied in size, but they were always human-shaped except for once. One night, I was walking out of my room with my cat in my arms, and she began to growl ferociously. Said she never does this. Mm-hmm. She's normally an extremely docile cat, and I was shocked to see her acting so. That's when I looked down the hall and saw the shadow figure of a large dog run down the hall. She goes, we don't even own a dog. We had owned one before I became ill, but were forced to give it away due to the fact that we could no longer provide it with proper care. The cat growled and growled until it disappeared. For all the other times that I saw shadow figures, they never took the form of a dog again. From that point on, the shadow figures were strictly human-shaped, some tall, some child-sized, but they frightened me to death. I would lie in my bed at night, tortured by the fear that I was going insane because no one else was experiencing this. When I confessed my experiences to my parents, they took me to a psychiatrist who could find nothing wrong with me. I continued seeing the shadow figures up until the last few months that we lived there.
Do you think she's like some type of like
psychic or something? Yeah. Or some
that's what it
medium
sounds like.
Of a sense. I mean something. You know, she's tapping into something that normal people aren't able to do.
Yeah.
The shadow figure phenomenon is a weird one. Because they like people talk about him as being like darker than dark. So imagine a pitch black room and try and imagine something darker than that, and that's what a shadow figure is. Ugh. So that's creepy in itself.
Super freaky.
Yeah. Okay. I kind of like these creepy Christmas tales.
Me too.
Yeah. I don't ever want to experience them, but I kind of like them.
Yeah.
So this next one says. Another rather ominous account comes from a witness who posted in Pinterest who claims that one Christmas night when he was a child, he got up in the middle of the night to go to the restroom when he heard an undefinable voice whisper in the darkness. He looked up and was startled to see a bright red light shining against a wall at the bottom of his stairs. He was transfixed by this odd light as no one was awake and there was no discernible source to it. And to his child's mind, he began to think that it was Santa. The witness then says he crept downstairs following the light and expecting to see Santa, but this is where things would get rather strange. The witness says, that's when I heard him, a very strong masculine voice, different from the first, not at all like my father's. It said, stop, right now, go back up those stairs. I listened, turned around, and what happened next, I'm not sure I would believe if someone had told me this same story. After reaching the top of the stairs, I heard a very loud crash that sent me running back to my mother's bed where I jumped straight under the covers and stayed there the whole night. When we awoke the next morning, the poinsettia lights my mother had put on the railing on the stairs were pulled straight down to the bottom of the stairs, some broken from what seemed like a forceful tear, lying in a single pile. The dry sink in my living room had fallen from the wall. My mother could not explain it. My father was worried we had been the victims of a home invasion. My sister was crying. There was nothing missing. Nobody had broken in. There did not seem to be any reason this had happened. And then I saw it and I kept quiet about it because I was so afraid that I could not force the words out of my mouth. There on the edge of the wooden dry sink, which had been facing up, were 3 indentations where the finish on the wood had been worn, almost as if a forceful grip. Something down there had grabbed it and threw it down, and that was the bang.
Wow.
Yeah. 3. 3.
Yeah.
I thought I held up 4. 3
I think you held up 3.
I did. Yeah, 3. So that's strange.
That is strange.
It's like a claw almost.
Like a bird.
Yeah, like a bird or like a I don't know what does a hoof print look like?
Oh.
Or like a cloven hoof? What's it? I don't know. I'm just thinking of like I think it's like split down the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like it splits. It'd be more like 2, but the only reason I said cloven hoof is because like the devil's thought to have like a cloven hoof print.
Apparently, rhinos have 3 fingers things.
Nice.
And koalas.
Oh well, surely it was a koala.
That would be wild.
The Christmas koala, just wearing a little Santa hat. That'd be fun.
Wow. Cute.
Cute.
Cute and scary.
Cute and scary. That's what we love. So this is a very similar account. It says this happened the night of Christmas Eve. The witness said that his wife, and 2 children had gone to bed for the night, but that he suddenly awoke in the middle of the night with a cold sense of dread washing over him. A profound sense that something was not right. He saw what appeared to be a shadow drift out of his room and into the hall. He saw what appeared to be... Oh, wait, I already read that. He at first took it to be his dog, who usually slept in the same room as them, and he went to see what was up. That was when he heard something rummaging around downstairs, and he froze in a startled panic. He told me of the bizarre sequence of events that would unfold. It sounded at first like someone just sort of shuffling around down there, moving things around, but I knew it wasn't my wife because she was still asleep. I checked on the kids, and they were still asleep too. So my immediate thought, considering the shadow I had seen, was that for some reason the dog was just stumbling around down there. I looked for the dog in the bedroom just to be sure he was there, only he was cowering against the corner, seemingly terrified of something. The sound downstairs got a little more urgent, although it was not loud enough to wake anyone else up. And I was about to wake my wife up, but I didn't want to worry her. I decided to go quietly down the stairs, enough for me to peek into the living room, and that's when I saw it. There in the dark were 2 glowing orbs. Red eyes sat within a dark shape that rose up to stare at me right before blinking into nothingness. I was breathless and turned on the lights, but there was nothing there. But presents that had been tossed all over the place. I searched every inch of that room, and there was no sign of anyone. No sign of a break-in, nothing. Whatever it was, or whatever the thing was, I'm pretty sure it was not Santa.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, stories like that make you think of, like Krampus. Like,
yeah.
Is it actually a physical entity? Like, is it not just some fairy tale thing? Because that sounds like some sort of evil Christmas.
Yep.
Evil Christmas spirit.
Yep.
I don't know.
I wonder if Santa is not
not good.
Yeah.
We've just made it up to be good. Similar to like all the Disney like fairy tale and princess stories, like they're sugar coated. Like
Right.
all of those come from the Grimm fairy tales, which are bloody and gory and
Yep.
nasty,
Yep.
evil things.
And we're just like, oh,
Yeah.
like instead of just leaving it or like just not having like a good, but like you were saying, like he balances out, like Santa balances out the like bad stories you hear.
Yeah, I mean, I say that because like the universe is like based on balance.
Yeah.
So like yin and yang, like that whole concept, even though it's not specifically to that, but that's the whole idea that everything counterbalances. Like you have to have a counterbalance.
Yep.
Like you can't just bring someone back from the dead, because then to balance that out, someone else would have to go take their place. So it's that idea. So
Yep.
I don't know. The Christmas creepers are weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird. I don't know. Maybe it's just like maybe they're not Christmas related. Maybe they're just like it just happens.
It's just another day at the office.
Yeah. For them, they're just it's like a Christmas tree's here.
Great.
Let's go see what's underneath
Yeah.
it. You know.
Yep.
But yeah. It's a weird one. Well, and like mixed with the whole like thing we were talking about earlier with the Amanita muscaria and the caribou and the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Like what that's morphed into, you know.
Right. Do people eat that mushroom?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Interesting. I would never eat something that looked like that.
Yeah, it's got a weird look.
Yeah.
Anything that's got like bumps on it.
Oh, yeah, I don't want it.
No. It's just
So it's like literally red, bright red and white.
yeah, and the trees and it grows under a green tree.
Yep.
It's like those were the presents. Like for the Siberian shaman, those were the presents.
Yep.
Yeah. Now we just wrap them in gift wrap.
Yep.
And we've changed into a materialistic culture instead of like shamanic, spiritualist.
Yeah.
Not spiritualist, shamanic, like, because the mushrooms make you trip. So I'm trying to find a word for tripping that's not like negative, you know.
Well, they were just, yeah.
Yeah.
So they would take the mushrooms and go through the chimney and bring them to the people?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of mushrooms,
Yeah.
I didn't know they were legalized in some places, but
It's like certain milligrams are.
Well, yeah, they have,
you
like-
can't just grow like
right.
Yeah.
But I had no idea.
Yes. I think Portland,
It was all of Oregon,
all of Oregon.
like
Okay.
the city limits of Denver,
Okay.
and there was one other city.
Well, because probably somewhere in California.
Yeah.
But they are doing studies on PTSD and psilocybin. So microdosing psilocybin to help cure PTSD. Not Amanita muscaria. They're two different. They're two different mushrooms. A lot of mushrooms, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, psilocybin. Psilocybin is like magic mushrooms. Just make sure I have that right. I'm pretty sure psilocybin is the magic mushroom, and the Amanita muscaria is totally different. Amanita muscaria. Yeah. Yeah. They're really weird looking mushrooms.
Really?
Like, I mean, if you saw that against a green background of a tree, like, I mean, you're going to be like, oh man, I should this looks nice.
They look like they're from Mario Kart.
They are.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure they're resembled in Mario Kart.
Yeah, no, that's what, it doesn't even look real.
No, it doesn't.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so anyway, fun stuff.
Honestly, would love to try a little bit of a mushroom.
Yeah, I would too. I mean, under like if I had like someone who was
Educated on it.
well versed in shamanic,
Yeah.
you know,
It'd be
stuff
cool,
like that.
I think.
It'd be cool. Yeah.
On the bucket list.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, that's all I got. You got anything else?
I don't.
Nice.
I don't think so.
Oh, I did. Well, I shouldn't say. I did have one more. There's a castle, and I think I might have mentioned this before. There's a castle in England that is supposedly haunted by Anne Boleyn, one of King Henry VIII's wives.
Oh, one of his 25 wives. Yeah.
And it's supposedly haunted by her. Every Christmas Eve, she walks across the bridge, and then just kind of disappears. Just kind of vanishes.
The bridge that lifts up.
Yeah, the castle is surrounded by a moat. Classic.
Yeah.
Surrounded by a moat, and then she supposedly walks into the castle and just kind of disappears. There was another one about a carriage that pulls up to this house. Mm-hmm. You can see the carriage, but it's completely quiet, and it's got 4 black horses. Pulls up, but it disappears as it's stopping. It fades into existence.
Oh wow!
Or fades out of existence. Yeah.
Carriage, man.
Man, yeah, the carriages. I think it's that thing of roads are roads, train tracks, things like that. They're subliminal zones.
Yeah.
There's so much energy going through them, and all driving, walking.
Yeah.
People are doing things that it attracts certain phenomena.
Yeah, that's true.
Like the stone tape theory, it attracts that. It attracts that type of energy.
Yeah, stay away from train tracks.
Yeah. Yeah, Anne Boleyn, and just to clarify the Anne Boleyn thing, I think she has some connection to the castle, but I can't remember it.
I was was that where they lived?
Yeah. I think it was either she's walking back in because she can't get out, or something like that.
Or what if she's trying to leave?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. She's trying to leave.
Oh, but and then she's oh, that's not working.
Yeah, she's I can't leave here. Yeah. The idea is that she would be imprisoned at that place.
Yeah.
But she was also imprisoned at the Tower of London, so I'm not sure where the buck stops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to have a moat. You have to walk across a...
Yeah.
And the only thing that comes to mind is in Shrek.
I was just about to say
that's
this.
the only relation I have to a castle.
Yeah.
And the gingerbread man.
Gingerbread man falling in.
Which gingerbread.
Gingy. Yeah, gingerbread. Where's gingerbread? There's got to be a link to gingerbread, right?
There's
got to be.
Yeah.
Something there.
But and dragons. That's the only relation I have to a dragon.
What is it? Well, yeah. I guess the sleigh. The sleigh is probably just because it's easy to get around in the snow.
Oh, for Santa?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the little elves. I don't know. The elves, that's kind of a weird.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got little people working for him.
But I feel elves are not what Santa's elves are. I picture elves as being really small.
Really small and kind of mischievous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
not helpful.
No, or not helpful. They're they're fucking around with you. Tying your I think there's traditions where they tie your shoes.
Yep.
So that they tie your shoes together so that you can't put them on right away.
That's what
it's kind of stupid, but also a pretty big inconvenience.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Mom would do that to me every St. Patrick's Day. Did she tie your shoes together? Because that shit was annoying.
Couple times, yeah, I know. See, it's annoying.
I'm I have to be to 7th grade in 2 minutes, and you're tying my shoes together.
Again, leprechauns, small little humans.
Yeah, we know how we feel about St. Patrick's Day.
They're just jealous that they're not tall.
Mm-hmm. Well, the shoes are all they can reach.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
yeah. When they think about it, they probably got to do there's probably 2 of them per shoe, right? Because they're so small. They can't tie the shoe with 2 hands.
I mean, statistically, it's hard for them.
Statistically, it's hard. They're probably the size of a shoe, so they gotta have 2 shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
that was good.
That's all. That's all. We're done here. Yeah. So a little bit of creepy, a little bit of ghost story, a little bit of Christmas tradition, a little good mix there. Anything else from you?
No.
All good? Sweet. Well, Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah.
Don't know if we have any Jewish listeners, but any other traditions that I might be missing?
Kwanzaa is December 28th, I think.
It's the 28th? Okay.
Or
I still don't know what that is. What is it? How does it differ? Do you know?
I don't.
I don't either.
I don't, but it's wild to me that it all, like some of the main holidays, like, all lined up, like, the same week this year. Because sometimes it's a little further off. But it's like, no, everyone is celebrating something.
Yeah. I'm just seeing, like, African... It's like a 6-day festival, and then it culminates in a final, like, celebration.
Yeah.
And it says it's based on African harvest festival traditions from West and Southeast Africa.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good time.
Sweet. Yeah, good time. Again, thanks for listening. You can find us on Twitter at World We Live Pod. You can find us on Facebook at World We Live in Podcast. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Give us smash that subscribe button.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Be safe out there if the cold weather's coming in, and we'll talk to you next time.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.